Hello, Bugs. You see two familiar faces today. As promised, we circled back because we wanted to talk about seven things that men desire in women and women desire in men in hopes of nobody ever needing or having a side piece from this day forward. Cousin Charles, ain't we doing the people's work?
Absolutely. And I don't have a Cash App, but hopefully you have one and can put it on the screen or add it to the link because the game I'm giving up today, I should charge for. Ladies, be
Okay,
aware.
we taking copay?
I'm telling y'all, listen, $1 million worth of game.
Okay, I don't have a Cash App either, but y'all can show us some love and treat us to lunch or some shit for more of this good stuff. So I just say we jump in it without further ado. I think I'm gonna go first because ladies first, right?
Absolutely.
Or should I feed off of you because you got to be the leader?
This is your show, so you're in charge.
Okay, I'm in charge. He said it, folks. So I want to put out this disclaimer that my list, and you can speak for yourself, my list is in no particular order of importance. Of course, this is not all encompassing of things that all women need. I'm just speaking from a woman's perspective because I only could speak through what I pee through, okay? And I just feel like what I'm about to say, other women may not agree, but ladies, if y'all agree with my top seven, please comment below. And if there's something I left out that you feel would supersede what I'm saying here, add that too, because even if they don't hear it here on the segment today, they can read it later on. So we appreciate that. Did you put yours in order of importance, cuz?
Mine is not in order of importance, and my seven points, most of them tie in with each other in some way anyway. So absolutely not in order of importance, even though number one might actually be number one, but aside from that, no.
Okay, cool. I agree that there is going to be some overlapping, but let's fall right into it. My first one, you alluded to it yesterday, attention. Women want attention. And for me, that goes in with that quality time, sitting and talking and just, pouring into your person. I feel like, those calls on lunch break, those thinking about you texts, compliments on her new hairstyle, her new outfit. Did she recently get her nails done? Basically showing your lady that you notice her in ways that could be easily overlooked if I'm, speaking freely here. Basically compliment her style, her laugh, her grace. Just show her that you see her. That's my first.
I love that, and I think it's really simple. And if you care enough to be with somebody, I think you should notice those little things. And I can also say that when those things are missing, like say you go and dye your hair and your man doesn't really seem to notice, and then you go to work and you're getting compliments on your hair, that's the kind of little things that actually plant seeds of doubt and can allow someone to creep into your space.
And the little coworker you going out with, he paying attention to all those things that your man is missing. Love it.
You shouldn't be going out with no coworker, but I hear you.
Oh, you might be doing home visits together. You might be going out to lunch together.
Okay, okay,
On work time. Y'all might be at the
yeah,
water cooler together.
okay,
I agree. I don't play that shit, but it happens. I've seen it happen.
yeah. You ready for my number one?
Hmm.
My number one is respect. You have to show your man respect. And I'm of the understanding now that respect and disrespect is a decision and it's a choice that needs to be made. And once a woman decides to disrespect you, most times you should probably step and exit stage left because once the decision is made to disrespect you, it's going to be very difficult to ever regain that which is lost.
Can you give us an example of disrespect? Is it verbal disrespect? Is it behavioral disrespect? Is it disregard disrespect?
It can be any of those, depending on the
Yeah.
circumstances and the level. You know, one might carry a little more weight than the other, depending on the dynamic. But it actually could be any of them. But again, it's a decision. And the thing for me is that we know how to do this. We do it very well. You do it with your parents when you're growing up. You know, it's certain shit you can't say unless you want to get your teeth smacked across the room. You do it with your bosses. You want to be able to pay your mortgage. So you bite your fucking tongue. You might cuss them out when you go in your office or you get in your car. You might even cry in the fucking car, but you bite your tongue. So we're capable of doing this. So for masculine men, it's difficult for us to receive disrespect from our women, knowing that they're capable and they show respect in all these other scenarios. And the man that actually cares for them and is providing for them, they choose to disrespect. It's a hard pill to swallow.
Thank you for sharing that. So to my number two, right? I think a great way for a man to get respect from his woman is to be a leader, right? So for me, it's like be the head of your household, be confident, be assertive but not aggressive, be a decision maker, step up and make things happen. Basically, take the initiative to lead your family, be solution oriented. There's nothing a woman's gonna love more and appreciate and respect from her man as a man who is a natural born leader. That's my number two.
I agree with that. And for me, I'm a problem solver. And the thing that bothers me the most is if I can't figure out a solution on something, because if we can't come to a solution, it's almost like a waste of time, because I don't, this is life. So issues are going to arise. There's going to be hurdles and things like that. And we should be able to work on a solution. So happening once is not a problem for me. But when it happens after that and there's no solution or remedy, that's when it really starts to become a problem for me and my psyche, because I feel like as adults, we should be able to come to some happy medium, whether it's a resolution between us or even a decision that we can't make this work.
And that's where you tap into your partner. Hopefully, your lady is just as much as a problem solver, solution oriented decision maker as you. So that's the purpose of having a helpmate.
Absolutely. My number two ties into number one, as I said. It's keep your motherfucking hands to yourself. Under no circumstances physically assault your man. Don't do it. There's not really any winning from that. And again, I know you don't put your hands on your mother. I know you don't put your hands on your boss. Some women don't even put their hands on your kids. So to put your hands on your man is one of the ultimate disrespects. And that's another thing that you may not be able to come back from. Don't do it.
Ties into respect. That's that physical respect.
Mm.
Absolutely. I agree. So my third is tying into if you gonna put your hands on your man, it better be showing affection because women like that shit too. Guys, we want affection. We spoil us with physical touch. If that's her thing, not every person, every woman, because I'm speaking to what I pee through, not every woman wants to be touched or whatever. But for those of us that do, spoil us with physical touch. I'm talking about kisses. I'm talking about hugs. I'm talking about cuddles and coddles. You know what I'm saying? Knowing to be gentle and soft, but also exhibit that gentle dominance. Like if you know she walking around with a little attitude, pin her in the corner. Be like, what your problem is? Give her a nice hard kiss on the lips. Smack her on the ass. Yank her here. Whatever it is, touch her. Damn it. Show affection. That's the kind of physical touch that we appreciate.
I absolutely love that, and I couldn't agree more. And I think that's aside from attention, that's probably one of the simplest things you can do to keep your woman engaged. And you can do it consciously. You know, you're washing the dishes, and I walk by and smack your ass, or rub my hand across the small of your back, or just give you a kiss on the back of the neck. That shit matters, and it costs you nothing at the end of the day. So if you want to be with the woman, show her some love.
Okay.
My number three speaks for itself: sucking and sex. Love language, no love language, I don't give a fuck what it is. Men want sex, we're motivated by pussy. Don't play.
Well, give it up, lady. Right. So I appreciate that because we enjoy that aspect of physical touch too. I never forget you told me that a man shows his emotion through intercourse a lot of times. And I can honestly say I felt most connected to my partner when we were having physical intimacy. So I agree. Um,
It,
my next one, I think is number four, is being a communicator. So for us, if you know, sexual pleasure needs to be communicated. What do you like? What don't you like? We could start there, okay? So if you know you like sex, fellas, communicate certain things to your woman so she's not guessing. Do you like your head sloppy toppy? Do you prefer more strokes and licks? Like you need to be specific. Do you like when she's on top versus do you want to be more dominant and be missionary? Communicate, communicate. But in a female's perspective, we want open and honest communication about important things. We want you to express yourself. Don't shut down. Don't, go and so quietly. I don't like that. Basically, be clear and unapologetic about how you feel, what you thinking, and what it is you want. Don't let us have to guess where you stand, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, be direct. about your needs, all needs, and what those desires may be.
I'm grinning like this because people are probably going to think that we collaborated on this, and in truth, we did it completely independent. My number four ties right into your number four with communication. I have notes, so forgive me if I'm looking off, but the title of my number four is Confidant Indiscretion. What I wrote here is no matter the state of your relationship, if your man comes to you hurt, you bury it deep. You bury it deep inside, and you never, capitalized never, use what he shared against him. I can speak specifically to being a black man in this country, military, law enforcement. There's been a lot of external battles, should I say, and I need my home to be my safe haven. That needs to be like sliding in the fucking home plate. Like I could be fucking bleeding out, but if I make it home, I know I'll live. And that needs to be my refuge because I don't have one anywhere else in the world. And when a man trusts you enough to be vulnerable with you, you can absolutely never, ever, ever use what he's shared to fucking hurt him. I don't care if you call him fucking your mother. I don't care how hurt you are. If you ever want to have any kind of relationship with this man going forward, do not hurt him with what he's trusted you with.
Love that. That resonated in my soul. And I believe that wholeheartedly because it goes back to my communicating your feelings and expressing them, and then having your woman be your gatekeeper, your safekeeper, not, disclosing that or throwing in your face. I love that you said that because my number five is emotional intelligence, availability, and vulnerability. For me, that is a turn on. It's a necessity. Um, I just feel like I can't read your feelings. I don't always understand those verbal cues, but if you are emotionally vulnerable and you tell me what's bothering you, if you cry on my shoulder, to me, that shows so much strength. That is a turn on for me. It's like, damn, babe, you trusted me with this. And the only thing that do is really strengthen our relationship. Um, I want a man that can also read my emotions, know when I'm feeling sad. Because I think a lot of times, I know I just said it might contradict what I just said, like we can't always tell, but women, we wear our heart on our sleeves. You could tell when we got an attitude. You could tell when we uncomfortable. You could tell when we're emotional. We on the brink of crying. Like it's gonna show a lot of times. I know for me, and I want my man to be able to tell. Like even if he, hey babe, you good? I know it's the change in your demeanor. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got that pep in your step you usually have. Let's talk about that. Respond appropriately. Don't be like, oh, I see you don't want to get moved. I'm gonna leave you alone. That is not the time to leave us alone. Basically, be present and aware. Offer comfort. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a hug. You need a hug? Going back to that affection. Like, give me a kiss. Everything's gonna be all right. Whatever you're dealing with, you ready to talk? You want to talk about it? Just be in that. And like I said, I want my man to also be comfortable being vulnerable with his emotions. Part of that vulnerability too is accepting accountability. One thing I can't stand is when a man does not accept accountability, never apologizes when he's wrong. Like that can put a woman in a very negative space because women, not all women, but we're very likely to be like, I'm sorry, my bad. You right. I will give you that. I was wrong in that situation. But I find that that's harder for men to do. And me personally, I don't like that. Come correct, be accountable and validate me sometimes, as well as apologize when you're wrong. Don't try to gaslight me and make me think I'm crazy. That's a problem.
Right. And to tap into that also, there's some baseline stuff out there that if you pay attention, everybody knows that there's a little bit of truth in every joke. And we all have heard, if you ask a woman what's wrong and she says nothing, something's fucking wrong. And if you ask her how she's doing and she says fine, she is absolutely not fine. So just taking those two things, if you care about somebody, might have to dig a little bit deeper, but you can usually figure it out. Even if you don't have a high emotional intelligence, there's signs there. You know what I'm saying? Like you come home from work and your lady always greets you at the door with a smile and a kiss, and she doesn't do it today. Ego sometimes plays a part in that, but that may not be anything against you. That may have been a difficult day with the kids. She may have had a tough day at work, but you notice that change and don't ignore it. Just fucking speak on it.
Y'all, I got a short story to tell. I was communicating with someone, a friend, And and I remember like feeling some type of way at the end of that conversation. And the conversation was winding down for the night. And I was like, "Oh, we'll talk later." And it was like, "You okay?" And I was like, "I'm good." That's the go-to statement. I'm
Bullshit
good.
response. Yep.
Like, "No, you're not, guys." Like, "I'm good." They didn't put me on it. They was like, "All right, have a good night, sleep well." When I tell you, the next day, early that morning, before my eyes were even wide awake, I was getting a call from said person. I was thinking I couldn't sleep. I know you wasn't well, and I don't like that you told me you was. What's wrong? And we was able to talk it out and talk that, yo, that was like, yes, you
Right.
get it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I
Right.
appreciate that. All right,
And
cuz
again,
you're
this is
five.
free game.
Oh,
Cost you nothing to make that phone call.
don't you know?
You know. My number five is be feminine. Masculine men protect and provide for feminine women. I was just having a conversation with somebody that I care about, and we were discussing femininity versus masculinity, and it wasn't really a debate. It was just kind of like an open-ended discussion. So their thought process is that there's times where women are forced into being masculine. So I asked if there's anything that you think a woman can accomplish being masculine that she cannot accomplish being feminine. And the initial response was no. And then I said, okay, I'm going to give you the example of the corporate world and being in a boardroom. I said, male dominated, scenario, whatever the case may be, CEOs, whoever's in the fucking room, but everybody has earned, the position of being in that room. So I said, do you think a woman in that position could stay in her feminine and still get her point across and be taken seriously? The answer to that question was yes. And then there was a caveat. They said yes, but they don't think they'll be respected. And I said, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Masculine men respect feminine women more. There's no desire to protect or provide for a woman that wants to go toe to toe and arm wrestle me. But a woman that remains in her feminine, if somebody else was to try and bark on her and I know she's feminine, I'm going to protect her. And, there's terms about beta male and Captain Save-A-Hole and all that kind of shit. But feminine women deserve and require protection.
Like it. I like it a lot. And I think the absence of a good man, maybe the absence of father figures in the family have caused women to step up and have to play those roles. So if I'm a single mother and I have to be tough all the time just to, kind of put on my armor, am I less worthy of being protected than the woman who basks in her femininity all the time because she has someone to take on the leadership role and the responsibility for her?
Well, the conversation kind of went that way. In being a single mother, where's the requirement in single motherhood that forces you to be masculine and be tough?
Um, I think when you're trying to raise your kids, you're trying to be their protector, their provider, all the things that the leader of the house, and the ways that I just said I want my man to be. So if he's not there and I have to do all those things, isn't that
Yep.
kind of adopting a masculine energy, so to speak, or no?
Not if you don't want to. My mother is one of the most feminine women I know. And we almost got in a car accident one day, slammed on the brakes, and she puts her arm out across my chest and stops me. Nothing masculine about it. She's still protecting me.
No, that's a maternal instinct, absolutely. Because Chandler asked me, "Why you always put your arm out?" I was like, "You have no idea what that means." That's
There you
even
go.
Yes, you have no idea what that means. That is a mama bear protecting her cub for sure.
Correct.
For
Yep.
sure. Okay, so I see where you're going. And it depends. I guess maybe it's not in the tasks you have to do, but the way in which you do them. That
Right.
determines whether you're being feminine or masculine. Okay.
And if you also pay attention to single parents, single moms, I see often for whatever reason adopt the idea that they need to be mom and dad or masculine. And when I see single fathers, I never see them thinking that they also need to play mom. They don't claim Mother's Day. They don't want to go to the mother son dance. None of that shit because men are just dad and dad's dad. But women feel this need to play both when you can just play mom. Now, granted, there's going to be situations where you're teaching your son how to pee, or you're talking about sex and condoms and things of that nature that are going to be difficult and maybe lack of understanding there because of the physiology of the two sexes. But I'm hard pressed to find something that you can't do in a feminine way that you could do in a masculine way.
And you said something that has always been a pet peeve of mine. taking Father's Day away from fathers. Like, enjoy your Mother's Day. When Father's Day roll around, even if you are a single parent, you play both roles in your mind. Do not be like, "Oh, happy Father's Day to me." I hate that. It
That
grinds
part. That
my
part.
gears. Give that man his day, and more, 9 times out of 10, he's probably not being a good father because you're a bitchy mother. And men don't want to deal with that when they trying to just see their kids. So, ladies, we could do better in that sense. This is not a one size fit all comment because I know that some men just don't deserve what it is that the women are putting out. But for the men that do, and they just trying to be a dope dad to their kids, don't interfere with that because you're bitter.
Yeah, I agree with that. In one of our other episodes, you and I had a conversation about what a father should do if the mother's putting up roadblocks. And one of your responses was, get another job and get a lawyer and all this other kind of stuff. And then when you were done, I asked you, should a father have to do all that to spend time with his child? And you were honest and you said no.
I don't think so. But when your back is against the wall, you do what the fuck you got to do to see your kid.
That's right, but it should never be necessary. You
It
shouldn't
should
have to
never be
fight me or the
necessary.
system to see your child. Ain't no way.
Correct.
I'm the
Nope,
father, you're the
I'm with you
mother.
there.
I shouldn't be putting up any barriers to stop you from being in the child's life the way that I am.
Mm-hmm. All right. So my number six, because you said when a woman is basking in her femininity, it
Mhm.
kind of makes a man want to step up and provide for her and do those things. So, yes, number six is provider. And I mean that in the sense of security, offering stability. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them chicks. My man does not need to make six figures. If he makes six figures, that's super dope. I'm lit. We in there. Yeah, yeah. But if he doesn't, like, to me, he still could provide financial stability. That means I had a man tell me that I'm going to be the provider. Even if my woman makes more for me, I'm going to provide because I'm not basing our needs on her income. I'm basing it on mine. So if you make 100,000 and I only make 60,000, the house we buy should be affordable in my salary. Whatever car you want to drive need to be affordable in my salary. You're not going to have me living up to your financial salary, and I'm the one that is expected to be the provider because I don't make what you make. And I respected that. As a woman, I respected that. So to me, a provider is going to let his woman and make sure his family feels secure. He's going to offer that stability, like I said, financial stability. With that comes making wise financial decisions, knowing when to budget, knowing when we can't go on that vacation, saving, putting sitting down monthly and going over the bills. I would like him to be ambitious and driven because that can only really enhance his providership. Um, Also provide in the sense of coming out of the finances a little bit, just provide that security in terms of mental stimulation. Talk to me about my goals, what it is that I want in life. Help me maybe create a plan for how I can get there. I don't think you always have to provide in the sense of money, but you could provide to your woman in other ways. Provide that emotional reassurance. Like I said, we wear our heart on our sleeves to go back to the attention, letting her know that she looks good and you like her hair and nails, letting her know she's the only woman in your life. Provide that sense of security to your woman and to your family in whatever way they express that they need it.
I think that's super dope, and I'm really happy for you that you take that mindset because the reality of it is most people don't make six figures. This is this dream or what have you, but most people do not make six figures. And I can also tie that back into femininity because an agreeable woman is required for that scenario. Because if I only make 60 and I'm making the financial decisions and I'm leading and I'm like, we need to live off of 60 because that's what I make. And maybe she makes 60, maybe she makes 50, whatever the case may be. And she's like, no, well, together it's 120 or it's 110. So why don't we live at 110? So that also requires an agreeable partner that's willing to be happy and live to your means. Because as a man, that's what it should be. But again, it takes a participating partner and an agreeable partner.
Mm, mm.
My number six is speak softly. A softer, higher register is appealing. If you can learn how to speak to the little boy in your man, the world is yours.
On that. If you know how to speak to the little boy in your man, did you say the world is yours?
The world is yours.
Please elaborate, because that I I didn't know what to expect for your number six, but hearing that has now caught my attention, and I wanted to register in a way that I could deliver that.
Right. So this can also tie back into the communication piece that you hit, and then I followed up with the confidant and the discretion. Everybody has, I shouldn't say everybody, but most people have a wounded child inside of them, and that child needs to be attended to sometimes. And if you can be patient and gentle with little Charles, big Charles is all in.
Okay, I like that. Um, basically being a supplement to therapy, I hope, right? Because we, not everybody, but most of us have that a wounded child in us that no matter how old we get, no matter how mature, how much we try to evolve, how much therapy we seek, that little child in us is going to creep up. And we need a partner that is going to be patient with that child, but we can't expect our partner to carry the load of that, right? And one thing I love
Absolutely
about
not.
us is that we seek therapy and we go, and I just feel like if a lot more people did, it would really help. It would really help because when you leave that session, the work continues. The work,
That's
and you
right.
constantly, yeah.
I agree. And it's not like a college course where you can go for a few months and you can leave with 3 credits and things of that nature. It's going to be a continuous process and a lifelong process. And I kind of look at it similar to being an addict. Once you're an addict, you're always an addict. You could be clean for 25, 30 years, you're still an addict. And I have a perception about healing that healing, for the most part, may not really exist. I think what we tend to do is learn how to cope, grow, and move forward in life. But you really don't heal. So like if I tear my ACL, I can have it surgically repaired. I'm going to have a scar on my knee. So my knee may be back to brand new. I may have a brand new knee, but I could never say that I'm fully healed because if I look at my knee, I have a scar on my knee, and it didn't look like that when I was little or prior to the surgery. So yeah, maybe I've grown or repaired or even healed in certain ways, but as far as achieving true healing, I don't know that that exists without it being a lifelong journey.
Hmm, okay, I like that. My number seven should have been number one to me because if he ain't doing this, then how can he be a protector? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if my man can't provide. I will work 2 jobs, but make me feel safe, baby. It is something about feeling safe. I hear women say, I want a provider and protector. Yeah, those are good combos. But if I had to choose one, if I want to feel safe with my man. And I'm talking about in all aspects. I want to feel safe physically and especially emotionally. Because again, this all ties in. There's some overlapping here. I want him make sure the door is locked at night. You know what I'm saying? Even if you rush in, you grab your keys and you drive in 5 minutes down the road, you're like, did I lock? Babe, get up and check the door. I think I locked it. I'm almost certain I locked it, but I want to make sure you and or the kids are good. Get up and check. She gonna be like, can you come back? Because I got something for you. So that is like a turn on for a woman. Also, a coworker and my father does it. Walking on the outside of the sidewalk. That's never a thing to me. I'm walking, mosey, and they put no, you get in. Matter of fact, I think a coworker did that. For shout out to Jim Ader, white dude I used to work with at the county. Where he's walking, he's like, "Get over here." I was like, "Why are you pushing? Something happened?" He's like, "I walk on the outside. You ain't my lady, but you still a lady, and I want to make sure that something comes." I was like, Ader, that was my guy, and I was like, okay. Also, sleeping by, I didn't know that was a thing. Sleeping by the door for men to sleep by the. First of all, I mean, I'm sure that whether he's by the door or on the inside, if somebody come, if he's a man, he's jumping over and making shit happen. Um, but for us, ooh, you there, cuz?
Yes, ma'am. You still
Okay,
have
because
me?
I lost my view somewhere.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second, let me get it back. Oh, there you go. Um, but yeah, so just taking those little safety precautions to make sure that they're good. And also, just protecting everything, being observant when we out and about. I don't always need you to fight. I don't always need you to carry a weapon. Sometimes even keeping us safe just means come over here, sit to my left. Or you know what, go grab your purse. It's time to go. I ain't feeling the energy, whatever. So something as simple as that. But being a protector is super dope.
Yes, it is. And people say chivalry is dead, yada yada yada. But I'm like that, and I believe in that. And any young man that wanted advice, I would preach that. I will also extend that back to our previous topic about side pieces. Discipline is the thing, and that's also part of safety. If we're in a committed relationship and we're fucking raw, you need to know whether or not my dick's been anywhere else or not. And that's also part of protection for me. But I agree with all that 110%. And like you said, the walking on the inside, the sleeping by the door, and the premise behind all of it, no matter what scenario you try and unfold, even opening the door for a lady, whether you're going in or out of some place or getting in and out of the car, there's aspects of it that are chivalrous, but there's also aspects of it that are security based. And all of those premises are, the bottom line is that something has to happen to me before it can ever happen to you.
Love it. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is be appreciative. Thank him.
Mm.
Thank him early and often. Thank him for the little things. Thank him for the regular daily things. A man that feels appreciated and respected, a man that feels appreciated and respected will go through a brick wall for you.
That. Yes. And even I love showing appreciation. I want him to know I'm so grateful. Even thank you for calling me. Thank you for listening to me vent. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for opening my door. Thank you for getting the bill today. Like, just I don't want to take any of that for granted. Thank you. So that I'm glad to hear that that means a lot to a man when a woman is thankful. So we got a few minutes left. What I want us to do is run down our 7. And if we
Okay.
can, as a woman, I'm gonna pick the top 3 that you identified that resonate with me and what I feel like we would really like to see. And I mean, yes, and then I want you to pick my top 3 and what
Okay.
you think, men should really what identifies with you and what men should really hone in on. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm gonna run down my top 7 for you, and then
Hmm.
you tell me what your top 3 are, and then you run down your top 7 for me, and I'll tell you what my top 3 are, and then that'll probably bring us to the end of this because we only have a few minutes. So
Perfect.
my top 7 were attention slash quality time,
Hmm.
leadership, affection, communicator, emotional intelligence, availability, and vulnerability, a provider, and a protector. Of those 7 things, what's the top 3 you would tell a man he should focus on?
Attention, communicator, protection.
Love it. Okay, what's your top 7?
My top 7 are respect, no hitting, sucking and sex, confidant and discretion, be feminine, speak softly, and be appreciative.
Okay. Of those 3, ladies, please pay attention to the respect. I understand men want respect, and I know you broke out your 2 from that, but we could tie that in if we really wanted to cheat here. And respect means respecting him physically, emotionally, in terms of being his confidant. So I love that. So I would say respect and have it encompass a couple of the things that you talked about, like being his confidant and not hitting him.
Mhm.
Um, being feminine. I'm working on that because I could I don't know where that came from, but I think femininity is just something very sexy and sensual about it, and it makes your man want to provide and protect.
That's right.
And then be appreciative, be grateful. I was in my pajamas looking crazy as hell in front of this screen talking about the power of appreciation. So that really resonates for me. Do you want to kind of elaborate on your attention communicator and protection thing?
Um, yes. So just throwing it out there, then we got a total of 14 things. And if we tally them all up, it costs $0. You can't get a better fucking deal than this. Cost you $0. If you want the pussy to be wet, if you want the dick to be hard, listen to us. Please your person. It's not that difficult. If you care, if you don't care, do you. If it's a side piece, do you. But if it's somebody that you care about and you can see things being long term, it's easy to do. And you can make adjustments. You can even put reminders in your phone to try and keep yourself aware and conscious of the transition that you're trying to make. And growing up, my father always told me, you attract more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. And I've always taken that with me. And this is honey, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. And if, like you said, everything we said is free to do. It doesn't cost much money. It just requires some effort. And this might prevent you from having to have a side piece and your partner from needing one, like I said in the beginning of the segment. So, cuz, what's your conclusion? Moral of the
In
story.
conclusion, in conclusion, these are the things that men think and care about. If and when we are tempted to step out, we think of these things and say, nah, I can't do that to her.
Mhm. And I think the same holds for a woman. Think of the things and be like, nah, I can't do this to him. Especially if a guy is providing those seven qualities that we look for, there's no way your lady is gone not want to do right by you. It's just,
Right.
and I just think there's many more we can talk about, right? We didn't talk about trust, we didn't talk about loyalty, we didn't talk about so there's a plethora of qualities and traits that can be displayed. But I think you and I, whether it was personally or generally, we identify some really key things, and we hope y'all can take away something from this. And like I said, comment below, you know what I'm saying? Share this, have a discussion, sit down with your mate, have a glass of wine, talk, watch it over dinner, and just talk about this. We would love to hear your feedback, right, cuz?
Absolutely. Do you know when this is going to be airing?
Yes. So I'm gonna work on the getting it ready, and I hope to have it ready in a couple of days. My computer's so the
Beautiful.
download takes forever. So I
Ah, okay.
really want it to be like this week. I just don't know
Okay.
how long it's gonna take this damn thing to download.
Yeah, I've heard some crazy stories about Valentine's Day gifts, lack thereof, crazy shit like that. And I think this would really be great for couples to listen to and be able to make some intentional changes in your relationship if you care about the person you're with. And no better time than Valentine's Day.
Absolutely. And if you don't get to watch this on 214, every day can be Valentine's Day. So put it in motion the day it airs, and I think the rest of your year will be phenomenal.
Talk
As
that shit.
always, thank y'all for tuning in to Sentimentally Speaking. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all chose to be here with us. Peace.
Peace, everybody. Take care.